They paid her $12,000. Hey guys, I am coming to you from my car today because it is back to school season and I am no longer on the patio. The only quiet 15 minutes I have in my day is sitting in the after school pickup line. My kid is going to come out of that building in a few short minutes. All right, today's video, I'm going to try to keep it short. Sorry for the noise. There's lots of horns honking. Oh my God, can you hear that? Oh, he is upset. Okay. Today's topic is the very best and the very worst of the professional development that I've had in my years teaching. So it's back to school season, which means that you probably already have, or you're about to sit through a couple of days of being talked at by experts who know how you can become a better teacher, even though they haven't actually been in your room or seen what you do, but they have the solution for whatever it is they think the problem is. Okay, I want to talk about the worst experience I've had with professional development and the best experience. And by the way, this is inspired by Sarah, a fellow teacher and blogger who last week over on my blog, I'll put a link down there, was asking me about ideas to bring some cohesion to a fractured department. So I have some ideas there, but in writing up that blog post, I started thinking about all my different experiences. One of the funniest, or saddest, I guess, was when a vice principal actually started professional development with us watching Sir Ken Robinson's awesome TED Talk about how schools kill creativity. And it was all about like, let's understand the children and appreciate where they're at and let the dancers be dancers and give every kid what he needs. And it was amazing. And then it was immediately followed up with digging into state testing data. And you're like, what? So they don't always hit the mark. The worst though wasn't an unironic twist. It was actually kind of insulting. So several years ago, my old district brought in an expert. I'm going to call her Dr. X. I'm not naming names or schools or anything. And she was an expert in hopefully closing the achievement gap. So we had underperforming student populations that we had identified, and she had some strategies to share about what we could do to help those kids like raise themselves up on their scores and be awesome. And I was actually really excited because if someone could teach me how to close the achievement gap, that would be amazing. So I went in with high hopes, but it became apparent really quickly that she didn't like teachers very much. And she was very comfortable laying the blame at our feet and doing it in a kind of insulting and then later aggressive way. So she was lecturing at us for not one, not two, but it went on for 3 hours as we sat in a gymnasium in August, sweating. And she started out small with little things like, you know, talking about how she's seen teachers drink coffee while they're teaching and that clearly they're not there for their students' best interests. And you're like, wow, okay. Or that a teacher would dare to sit on a stool and lead a conversation instead of being up and active. And okay, I get my steps in, but sometimes I'm tired, you know, sometimes I gotta sit. That doesn't mean I don't care about my kids and want them to achieve. All the way towards the end, which was basically laying the blame on us. So, as you can imagine, as the session went on, it got more and more crunchy and uncomfortable. And it's a real shame because all the teachers in the auditorium, I could just see the little lights turning off. Like we closed our minds to what she had to say. And she had some decent strategies, but we weren't encouraged to take her ideas, mold them to fit our particular kids, our particular classroom style, to like use those tools for our art of teaching in our rooms. And instead we were just lectured about how we were like underserving kids and part of the problem. And I'm like, you don't know me. You haven't been in my room. I'm not part of the problem. I'm like working super hard. I want to know if I'm doing something wrong, but let's identify it. Don't just like paint us all with a broad brush stroke. So what I took out of that very worst professional development is the idea that you have to like the people that you're trying to help. And that lady just didn't like us. She didn't like teachers. She thought we were the problem. We were the obstacle. I think we're the solution. So I actually take that lesson and think about my own students as well. If you're having classroom management problems, it might be because the kids don't feel like you like them. And it has to be authentic. You gotta really like your kids and be rooting for them and be on their side. And yes, you have your rules and your discipline and all that, but kids, like Rita Pearson said, kids don't learn from people they don't like. And so teachers are people too. And so we just didn't learn from her, which was a shame. So that was the worst one. Oh, by the way, one of my colleagues was so irritated with this woman. He actually looked up in school board minutes how much they had paid her to come in and run professional development for us. They paid her $12,000. Oh yeah. So it wasn't just for that one day. She actually was coming like throughout the semester to work with small groups, and there was a whole thing for the elementary teachers, but still, $12,000. I don't know if that was the money best way to spend that money. Just saying. Okay, but let's flip it around. Let's be positive. Let's talk about the best professional development I've had. And I actually have two for these. I'm going to cheat. One is very personal, and one is something that every campus can do. So for me, the bar none, the best professional development I've ever done is putting my stuff up online. So as you know, I build curriculum and I have ideas. I have the blog. Hey, I sell and give free things away at teacherspayteachers.com. And I tell you, if you want to advance, you need to expose yourself online in terms of your don't expose yourself. That's what I meant. I meant just like put yourself out there, because the internet will tell you what's good and what's not. And they will be brusque about it, and you will get your feelings hurt. I certainly have over the years, but so much growth comes from that criticism. If you can take the harsh edge off of it and really hear what people are saying, it makes you a better person, a better teacher. So if you are really wanting to grow, start a blog. Throw a couple things up on TPT, get some feedback, share, and you'll get lots of feedback. And then hopefully, and it's hard to set your feelings aside and really listen to that feedback, both the good and the bad. So absolutely, number one, working online has helped me in ways I couldn't have even imagined. Okay, the second awesome professional development idea that I've ever experienced is what's called Ed Camp. So Ed Camp is a teacher-driven workshop where at the beginning of that day, we come together and decide what's going to be workshopped that day. What problems do we need solved? What ideas do we want to share? What discussions do we want to have? All of those go up on a big board, and basically if you have something to share or you want to learn something on that topic, you go to that session. I'm going to put a link down there to a better description of Ed Camp. I encourage you to do it. We're experts. The brain trust that's sitting in those sweaty gymnasiums this month is huge, and administrators would be wise to tap that. Now, yes, I also know that there are some teachers who are going to just like, cross their arms and sit in the back and not want to participate. But you know what? They're not participating when we do $12,000 professional speakers either. So why not save the money, empower the experts, give the new teachers a place to have a voice and share their perspective with their fresh eyes, and make awesome stuff happen. All right, that is it for me. I gotta run. If you want more, it's on the blog. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe. That'd be great. I'll see you guys next time when I have a few minutes.